return, then I will do that back to you. So we need to make sure that the standard that we set is simply to encourage people in the gift that God has given them and the person that he has designed them to be. The next one, Galatians 6, 22-5. Carry each other's burdens, and this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. If anyone thinks they are something when they are not, they deceive themselves. Each one should test their own actions, then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else, for each one should carry their own load. So deception, self-deception is another problem. It's a huge problem, and again, it leads from this arbitrary measurement. And what can happen is it can go both ways. People can deceive themselves to think they have more value than somebody else because they're really good at this thing. Or they can deceive themselves and say they have less value because they're not as good at this thing than somebody else. It can lead to both pride and insecurity. God's design for you is both wonderful and purposed, right? It says in the Word that you were, created to do good works. You're not a mistake. There's no errors in his design. The Word says that you were fearfully and wonderfully made, and he knit you together in your mother's womb. So it's no accident who you are. His design is there. His purpose is there. God's hand was then and is still upon you. And the same is true of everyone else around us. Our true purpose is to try and understand the design that God has created in us and in others, and try to serve them, serve ourselves, disciple ourselves into being the best version of God's creation. We still challenge each other, but we never challenge our value. The other thing is that he created us in his image. And I read it somewhere where, we're his image bearers. And so that's not just true for the skinny people. It's not just true for the fit people. It's not just true for the young people. Not just true for people with good fashion sense. Not good. And so each one of us carries his image. Do we see that image in ourselves? Do we see that image in other people? Do we treat other people like they carry his image? That's a big one. How often do we compare ourselves? I mean, I did it for sure. 1 billion times a day. What do I look like? Am I good enough looking? Not as good as my brother. I'll let you in on a little secret. My brother doesn't look as good as he used to. But regardless of that, he still carries God's image, right? Whether he's fat or skinny or his teeth are rotting or his teeth are good, whatever. It is, it's huge. How often do we look at someone and go, man, it would be better if they weren't so chubby. They had better hair. Right? Look at the clothes they wear. Sarah got, she was homeschooled for a while. She went to school and she couldn't believe that people didn't like her. And you know why they didn't like her? She's too pretty. How do you get that? The boys liked her. the girls hated her. Is that fair? That's destructive. Destructive. And when I look at my wife or my children, do I see that which I don't like? The things they do wrong? Do I focus on their personality traits that I don't like? Do I try to drive them somewhere where they very difficult for them to be driven to? Or do I see the image of God in them, the glory of his design, the gifts and the purpose that he created them, and do my job to foster those things that God created? And I guarantee you, when we start to look at people that way, as image bearers, designed for his purpose, it's way easier to relate to them, even if they reject you, even if they don't like you. I don't care. I see the glory that God has put in you, see the divine purpose that God has put in you. And you know what? Nothing is going to stop me from trying to develop that within you. So again, do we focus on what is wrong with us, or do we focus on what God made right within us? When I stopped trying to be my brother and started being who God created me to be, and I was happy. I had joy, I had peace. I no longer had to live up a standard that I was never, ever going to be able to do, because that's not who God created me to be. And even though being analytical and stubborn and passionate about seeing success, seeing things moving in the right direction, seeing things created. So God created in me the ability to see how things should be. Okay, and I'm not trying to brag. This is God's design. This is his glory. So this is a gift that he's given me. I can see where something should be in an amount of time. So it could be 6 months, a year, 2 years, 10 years. I see things, or I have a vision, or whatever you want to call it, of what success looks like in a person's life, in a business. And I've been very successful in understanding the strengths and weaknesses, the opportunities and threats in people's lives and businesses, etc. And I've made a lot of people very wealthy by doing that. And it simply was me walking in what God had designed me to be. And so